All right, guys, we're about to unbox the Redodo 300 watt hour power station, and we're gonna play around with it, see what it does. I know it does have pass-through charging with the solar, so I'm probably gonna do two videos. First video, I'm just gonna play around with it and see what I can run with it. In the second video, I wanna see about the pass-through charging. I wanna charge something up while I'm using the solar. They're saying it has a max solar input of 60 watts. So we're gonna see how much we can get to come in with that. Right now we're gonna unbox it, and then we're gonna play around with some different things, run a few different things around the house and see how it does. This is the Redodo 300 watt hour power station. So see what we got with it. First thing, I can do this without tearing everything up. It came in another box, a heavier box that they shipped it in. This is just a regular box. So they get a product manual. Let's see what kind of cords we get with it. So we got the regular AC adapter. Way to open that one. So our two cords here. We have the MC4 adapter for the solar, so we can charge it up with the solar. Then you have your car plug where you can plug it into your car cigarette lighter or whatever and charge it up that way. So let's get this thing out and see what it looks like. I will say it's pretty, kind of colorful. There it is. All right, so I'm bringing it in for a little better look. I had the camera on that stand a second ago. I couldn't open it with both hands in the camera. Just couldn't do it, guys. All right, so now you can see it a little bit closer. It's still charging. That's what it looks like close up. That's your little AC. Turning the AC power on there. That's the DC power on there. Turn those back off. Everything's gonna, the solar and everything is gonna plug into that one same spot. As you can see, it's all got the same plug at the end. This is for your cigarette lighter. And this is gonna be for your solar hookup right here. And they're saying 60 watts max input on the solar. So I'm curious to see what it does when we plug the solar in. But we're gonna play around with it with some other stuff before we do the solar. So we have it 100% charged now. I'm about to run this little small fan, this lamp, and this larger fan. The problem is there's only 2 outlets for the AC side. So I'm gonna use this power strip, and we're gonna plug everything. I'm gonna plug this into the power station, and then we're gonna run everything through that power strip. So we're gonna plug this in. We're gonna turn on our AC. Got it on now. All right, so and we can, for 49 hours, we're not pulling any watts. We can have it on for 49 hours. I'm fixing to turn on the larger fan. Let's see what it does. And that fan is pulling 80 watts. And let's see, I believe I have it on high. Yeah, that's on high there. We're gonna plug in our next fan. And this is rated to put out 300 watts on the AC side, max. So we're gonna, I don't think we're gonna reach the 300 watts of what I have here, but we'll get over 100 watts and see what we can get. So now we got the second fan running, and that is, I believe it's on high also. Now we're gonna plug in this light. So we'll get with that light. All right. See the second fan is running. Let's plug the light in. Power to the light. So it's pulling 125 watts. At that rate, it's saying we can run that for 2 hours like that. So let's start killing some things and seeing how long we can run different things. So we're gonna turn that light back out. We're gonna turn the small fan back on. So the large fan pulling 80 watts and saying we can run it for 3 hours. We're gonna turn it down. We have it on low now, and it's pulling 50 watts on low, and it's saying we can do that for 5 hours. So we're gonna kill that fan. We're gonna turn on just a small fan, and we're gonna put it on low. Let's see what we got there. So the small fan on low, is pulling 15 watts, and it's saying we can run that small fan like that for 13 hours. All right, so let's just say if we had this fan and we want to turn this light on. All right, so now you see we have the fan on low, that lamp on. It's pulling 23 watts and saying we can run that for 10 hours like that. And of course, this is without being hooked up to solar or anything. This is just on the battery itself. So we can run those for 10 hours. Let's turn the fan back off. And let's see what it says about that light. So the light by itself is pulling 3 watts, and it's saying that we can run that for 23 hours. 24 hours, 23 to 24 hours. So that's pretty good. I'm gonna plug a few more things in and see if we can get closer to the 300 max. So we'll get a couple more things to plug into it. Before I go up to the 300 watts, well, I still got some battery left to it. I have my router. I just plugged it in there, and as you can see, it's pulling 3 watts. And it's saying I could run it at 25 for 25 hours like that, 26 hours. But it's just now starting to kick back on. So we're gonna see if it starts pulling some more watts once all the lights come on it. So we'll give that a minute, and then we'll try to plug some larger things into it. I was just curious how long it would run my router. So as you can see, the watts are starting to go up on it. So we'll let it get fully turned back on, and we'll see where we at with it. All right, so we have the Wi-Fi back on. Everything's lit up where it needs to be, and it's only pulling 9 watts, which isn't bad, and it's saying that we can run it for 18 hours. So, you know, be on the safe side about 15 hours. Should run it with no problem if you got that type of router. All right, so we're fixing to move on to some bigger things now. I just want to do that little test with it. All right, so we're pulling out 99 watts now. It's saying we can run, I got a TV plugged in, saying we can run it for 3 hours. Long enough to watch a movie. Maybe not a Kevin Costner movie, a little bit longer than that. All right, so the Roku's working. Let's see, it's up and running also. That's pulling in 104 watts. So I also have this game. If I can figure out how to turn this on, we'll turn that on and see if we can get that to work. So the game just came on, and now it's pulling 136 watts. So my next plan is to take that fan and plug it in. I think we're gonna be about, what, maybe 200 watts or so. So we'll see. Let me plug that fan in and see where we at with it. So we got the fan on high. With all those things plugged in, we're pulling out 219 watts. Saying we can do it right at an hour. 95%. Turn the game back on, it just went off on us. All right, so yeah, with the game on, TV, fan, and the Roku, pulling 218 watts. And then it's rated to put out a max of 300 watts. So that may be about all I do today. I wouldn't recommend trying to run anything for 300 watts, no more than a minute anyway. I mean, that's the max they'll put out, and you don't want to put the max strain on these things. So we're gonna unplug this fan now. All right, got the fan unplugged, and it's going back down to the 130 watts. Same with the game and the TV. We'll get about 2 hours of runtime with it like that. Okay, so far so good. Just doing everything I've asked so far. So I am going to do one little test with the DC side of it. I have the DC side. This is where you turn it on right there. Turned on, and I'm using the cigarette plug. And I have a car vacuum cleaner. So we're going to see if we can vacuum up these little pieces of paper. All right, that worked, and that's full of 60 watts. So yeah, had no problems there with the DC side, and I believe we could have pulled about 100 or so watts if we needed to. So there was no problem there with the DC side. I'm not really big on using the DC side of these things. I don't have much things to plug into it, but if you're somebody that has one of those little refrigerators or something, it's putting out 12 volts, 10 amps, which I believe that'd be 120 watts. So I just want to test that side out there. This is your maximum output and input power right here. You can see total is 400 watts for your output. DC side's 120, AC side's 30, and the USB is 108. But the max you're gonna be able to do at one time is 400 watts, and the max you'll be able to do for the AC at one time is 300 watts. And that is your max of your inputs right there. And the max that's coming in is gonna be 60 watts. And right there where it says fast charge, that's 18 watts. So you'd use that to charge up maybe a phone or something like that. I appreciate you taking time out with me. I'm about to stop testing it today. Just a few more things I'm gonna talk about, and then we're gonna end this video. You know, there's 4 ways to charge it back up. 3 of them's gonna be right through here. One's gonna be with the AC charger right there. The second one is gonna be the AC just being your regular wall outlet. The second one's gonna be your solar input right there. That's where it comes in. And the third is with the car plug. It'll plug right there. Plug it into your cigarette lighter in there and charge it back up. And then you have your USB-C ports right here. You can see where it says in and out. One of them can bring in 30 or put out 30, and bring in 30 or put out 30. So that is your 4 different ways to charge it up. What we'll do is another test with the solar panel and see how it does when we hook it up to solar. They're saying 60 watts is the max, and they're recommending not to go over 100 watts with the solar. I'm gonna use a 100 watt panel, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna stay below the 100 watts. A few specs on the back here. You can see that DC 5521. That's the input where the solar comes in, and the input where the AC comes in, and that's the specs on it there. 10.8 volts to 25 volts, with a max of 60 watts. So we're gonna play around with that, and we're gonna play around with the pass-through charging to see how that works. There's gonna be a link below to Redodo's webpage in the comments. In the comment sections, I'll have two links. One will be to this power station, and the other will be to their webpage. And they have all kind of products on there. I know they got batteries and solar panels and inverters and all kind of things. If you use this link and you get in there and use the Suncatcher code, the word Suncatcher as a code, you'll get 4% off if you decide you want to buy something, whether you want a power station or a battery or one of their other products. Appreciate y'all taking time out with me, and like I said, we'll be back to do some more tests with the solar on another day. All right, thanks.